Hello, this is Random MUGEN Dude, and I'm here to give the top 5 do's and don'ts of MUGEN. Understand that this is my opinion, and some don'ts are fine in a full game. Also, these aren't in any particular order, so keep that in mind. Number 5 do. Play with MUGEN's code. This is where pretty much every creator has started. Playing with the code helps you learn how it works. It also helps if you keep the documentation handy with you at all times, and be sure to back up the character or stage you're editing. Number 5 don't. Give your character perfect AI. Insta-blocking, always able to put a jab in before you do, and possibly even pulling off an encyclopedia of combos. While theoretically a human player could pull this off, there's nothing more frustrating than an AI that just curb stomps you, no questions asked, just due to having the advantage of reacting in exactly 1 frame or 1/60th of a freaking second. However, you can get away with this if it's only on the highest available difficulty, or if the character in question is supposed to be treated as a final boss. Number 4 do. Have a free combo system. Truth to be told, most fighting game fans love free combos. Forget auto combos and dial-ups. It's more fun to be able to string attacks together seamlessly. Weak attacks to strong attacks, the famous zigzag from Darkstalkers, standing to crouching, normals to specials, launchers for air combos, and juggles. If you want to take it further, you can allow chaining specials together, chain a special into a super, and even chain supers together. Let me tell you, stringing a large amount of attacks together is a lot of fun. Number 4 don't. Allow infinites. Infinites can really suck the fun out of a match. Imagine your opponent using the same move or combo over and over again, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is what you call an infinite. Whether it is an endless ability to juggle your opponent, to moves with high hit stun, to moves that stun your opponent for a free hit. This really dampens the quality of your character. That being said, you can take extra measures to protect from infinites by adding a damage dampener that eventually leaves your fighter's attack damage to 0. But you should try for no infinites altogether in the first place. Number 3 do. Have special animations. While mostly for cosmetic purposes such as shock or burn animations, some are actually used for gameplay mechanics. From just making an attack look better to actually changing an attack's effect based on whatever you have the animation or not, to tree identification and gender detection, to even fatality compatibility. Juano 16's Mortal Kombat characters are good examples of all of these features being used. Number 3 don't. Have bad hitboxes. This one is a no-brainer, yet this is one of the most common mistakes in MUGEN character creations. Your character should have 2 hitboxes at most for standard animations, and 4 for attack animations. Oftentimes a character can have infinite priority in his attacks due to bad collision jobs. Here's a typical bad collision job. Now compare it to this one. And this one. See, accuracy isn't everything. Number 2 do. Have command moves. Let's face it, command moves are awesome. While at first appearing just as cosmetic, they often have special uses. For example, Goki's Zugai Hisatsu, which is performed by pressing forward while pressing the medium or heavy punch button, and depending on the creator, is a multi-hit attack that does decent damage, and it's an overhead, making it unblockable from a crouching position, which makes it good for punishing turtlers. However, the trade-off is that the move has some fair startup and is pretty predictable, and a human player will easily catch on that the move can't be blocked in a crouching position. Also, follow-ups that branch off a main move is also a command move. Just some trivia for you. Number 2, don't code your characters to bash other characters or creators. First off, it's very childish. Yes, there are badly done characters and creators that just suck. Deal with it. All you're going to accomplish with doing this is make yourself look very whiny and bitchy. It was cool and funny at first, but now the novelty has worn off and people have matured. This also goes for Gangbang. People can remove the code, and people are going to make characters rape your characters whether you like it or not. Deal with it. Number 1, do. Create special introduction interactions between characters. This can add a lot of fun in MUGEN, even if it's only a cosmetic feature. One can even call this an Easter egg, although you can easily find what intros a character has by looking into his code, and the fact that MUGEN's language is very straightforward. Number 1, don't. Some things are extremely frowned upon in the MUGEN community. This is the most horrible you can do in MUGEN. The number 1 thing to not do in MUGEN is sprite swapping, palette swapping, or creating overpowered edits. This is the worst of creative fallacy in MUGEN, the most horrible of horrors. Sprite swapping is when you take an already created character and swap the sprites out. Obviously, this is very lazy, and you'd be better off just releasing the sprite and possibly the animation files by themselves. Palette swapping can be a bit tedious, depending on the character, but the fact still remains. It's lazy, and you're better off releasing the palette files by themselves. As far as overpowered edits go, anything with the terms Orochi, Evil, Dark, Holy, God, SSJ number, etc. is likely to be an overpowered edit, be it just palette swapping with buffed up stats to deliberately editing a character to be cheap. This is one of the biggest no-nos of the MUGEN community. Thankfully, these trends are nearly dead as of late, but some people just don't get it. There are some creators that are notorious for doing these and won't stop despite criticism. You have just watched the top 5, in my opinion, do's and don'ts of MUGEN. Random MUGEN Dude, signing out.